Hey guys, so today we're going to review the Tronsmart ONYX Primes. Now these are priced in the competitive landscape of the H1s and the H2s by Soundpeats and other earbuds in a similar category. But are these as good as those and others? That's what we're going to find out today. They're specially kind of designed for the audiophiles according to Tronsmart. They gave dual hybrid drivers and a bunch of other features which I'll discuss. So let's go find out if these are good value for money or not. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is unbox these babies. And when you do, the first thing you see written is made for audiophiles. When we open the box, we get the case, the earbuds themselves, these extra tips and wings, and there's a bunch of them as you can see, the warranty card, and this black box which houses the USB-C cable. And there you go. As for the price, these cost $64 on the Tronsmart website, which links to AliExpress. So they're kind of above their average price for Tronsmart. As for the look and feel, let's first start with the case. This is kind of a big pill type of look, you could say, and it's made out of plastic, nothing too premium to be honest. My biggest problem is opening these sometimes takes some effort. The first problem is that you won't know which side is right side up. Often I grab these and I'm trying to open it and I realize they're upside down and then I have to turn them around. So that's one thing. The hinge is kind of higher than the point itself and sometimes they do feel slippery as well. My main problem is opening them. They take some effort for no reason. But they also have a USB-C port at the back, which is always good. Now it's kind of standardized. And they have Tronsmart embedded on the top, which is the only kind of premium thing about the look of the case. When we move on to the earbuds, well, the earbuds themselves are kind of big, they're kind of chunky, and they have this kind of red-blue disco light on the top whenever you open them. So some people might like that light, some won't. I personally think it's slightly cheap, but it could be cool to you. I mean, I can't really say that it's a bad thing. And the biggest, I'd say, problem is that they're kind of big. I think they're even slightly bigger than the H1s, which I found quite big as well. Yeah, definitely they're taller, but the H1s also have like kind of a wider shape to them. But these feel bigger for some reason. So, but I'm not gonna say they're ugly. They're not ugly earbuds. They have like the Tronsmart logo, which is like these boxes, kind of an audio thing. But for the look and feel, I'm gonna give these a 6.5 out of 10. As for the features, these have the QCC 3040 chip in them, which gives it aptX. It also gives it Bluetooth 5.2. These also have a gaming mode in it. But more importantly, these have dual hybrid drivers, which usually affects the sound quality in a good way. Also, this features an app in which you can change the equalizer, you can customize it, you can change the functions of it, and a bunch of other small stuff. So also these are waterproof, up to IPX4 rated. It doesn't say that on the box or in the literature on the website, but I did find that here and there on the internet. So these are supposed to be rated for IPX4, and I'll just do a quick test for you as well to make sure they are. So we saw the test and they're fine, they're working, it's no problem. Also, these have mono mode in them, so you can use one earbud at a time. And overall for the features, I think they're pretty good. I'm gonna give this an 8.5 out of 10. As for the battery, the earbuds give you 7 hours of playtime, which is pretty good. And the case together gives you 40 hours of playtime. I think that's a pretty solid number for battery. So I'm gonna give these an 8.5 out of 10. By the way, they take about an hour and a half to 2 hours to charge. Now let's talk about the mic quality, which is really important for a lot of people, including me. So first, let's listen to a test. So this is the mic test for the Tronsmart ONYX Prime. How does my voice sound? Is it clear or not? Right now, I'm in a quiet room, by the way. So this is the mic test for the ONYX Prime with ambient noise on. How does my voice sound? Is it still clear or not? Do let me know in the comments below. Okay, so now I have the Soundpeats H2s on, and I actually like the mic of these. They were better than the H1s. So this is just for comparison, so you can see how good the ONYX Prime is or not. Now this is the mic test for the H2s with ambient noise on. How does my voice sound? Now you have a comparison from the ONYX Prime with the H2s. Okay, we heard the test. And in my point of view, these don't have a bad mic. I think they're reasonable. They're all right. But I did compare them to the Soundpeats H2s, which I kind of like their mic, especially compared to the H1s, which mic I never really liked much. So for Soundpeats, it has a good mic. Overall, generally, it has an okay mic. I think that these are quite similar to these, but the H2s slightly have an edge in my opinion. I think the H2s have a better volume and slightly more clarity. Having said that, they're not too far behind. So I'm going to give the Tronsmart ONYX Primes a 7.5 out of 10 for the mic. Now let's talk about latency. So let's first see a test. Okay, so we saw the test and we compared the ONYX Primes with the Soundpeats H2s. And the Soundpeats H2s have the exact same latency as the H1s, which is very good, by the way. I love their latency. The ONYX Primes, as you saw, are also really good. In fact, I think they're pretty much the same as the Soundpeats. They have, I think, under 100 milliseconds of low latency, which is great. And they also have a gaming mode, which I showed you as well. So the gaming mode makes it even better. I'm going to give these a solid 9.5 out of 10 for latency, which is exactly, I think, the same score I gave the H2s and H1s. So the latency gets a big solid thumbs up, and I don't think you're going to have any problem watching videos or even gaming with the Tronsmart ONYX Primes. Now let's talk about sound quality. Okay, so these have dual hybrid drivers, which is really good. What that means is that they have a separate driver for the lows and a separate driver for the highs. So how do they sound? Well, I tested these, I compared it with the H1s and H2s, and I love the sound of these, especially for the price. And considering this is in the same price bracket kind of, I think this Tronsmart ONYX Primes have a pretty good sound signature. I think their bass is quite strong. You know, overall they're quite strong. They're stronger than the H2s and close to the H1s in a way. And I think the bass is quite punchy. It's punchier than the H2s, and this is kind of my earbud of choice these days. So I would say they're stronger and they're louder as well, but the H2s have a slight edge on clarity, in my opinion, just slight. These are still pretty good. They still have pretty alright clarity. They have a good instrument separation. The soundstage is wide enough as well, but overall these feel slightly more, I would say, clear, like I mentioned, and these feel slightly more strong. But if I had to give a con to these, I would say that the bass is kind of noisy, which these aren't. The bass is strong in the H2s, they're very strong, but these are slightly noisier, and the highs are slightly more shrill. So both of those things are slightly better in the H2s, but these have a stronger punch in the lows, and also overall are just slightly stronger. So if that makes sense. So I would give the sound quality an 8.5 out of 10 for the Tronsmart ONYX Primes, which is a pretty good score. And on its own, it's not too bad. Just remember those two things I said, that the bass is kind of noisy and the highs are slightly more shrill compared to these. These have good clarity. But if you don't compare to that, I think you'd still enjoy these. And just that overall strong punch and strength of the sound is quite good. So it's an 8.5 out of 10 for sound quality. As for passive noise cancelling, meaning acoustic isolation, basically just the blockage of noise coming into the earbuds when you're wearing them, I think these are reasonable. They're not too bad. When I had them in the car, and these don't have ANC, of course, these blocked out quite a bit of noise, and I could easily listen to a podcast volume at like 50% with these on, just tightly snug inside the ear. So I'm gonna give these a 7 out of 10 for passive noise cancelling. So overall, these get a 61.5 out of 80 in the overall score, which is a pretty alright score. But do I recommend them? Well, that's a good question. You see, I think the sound is good. The sound quality is definitely good. These have good features. They have good battery life. The only thing I don't like is the fit, maybe the look as well. The mic is okay, but then at this price, I've rarely found a mic that really blows me away. So I do like these. I could recommend them, but the only thing is that for the same price, you can get the H2s, which I personally really like. These are my earbuds of choice, as I mentioned, and I would recommend these over this. In fact, I might even recommend this over this just for that clarity in the sound, but the mic in this sucks. So it would come down to these two. And honestly, if you want a stronger punch in your sound, the Tronsmart are the way to go. If you want slightly better clarity and a slightly better mic maybe, the H2 is the way to go. Although these have a better battery life than the H2s. So overall, I like these. They're not bad. It depends on what you're looking for, what your priority is in earbuds. And definitely, if you go over all the points I mentioned, you can make a decision. So that's about it for this video. I hope it was useful. I hope you liked it. Definitely think about leaving a comment and subscribing if you want. Until our next video, take care. Bye.